I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain, I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints, money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague, we all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name, all our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be, living in a time where disease is on every screen, I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering, negativity is a plague for the mentally weak, no mercy, all I got is working, never stop searching, never quench the thirsty, I'm toxic and psychotic, but there's logic, you can't stop it, it's been chronic, since I was a boy so neurotic and chaotic.
I'm built to last with the webs I'm weaving, I could change the past with all I'm achieving, got my foot on gas, never stop competing, if you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em, make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em, if you take off the cast, you can see all the healing, if the pain's in the past, move on from the grieving, put your foot on the gas, no, never stop competing, yeah.
I've been doing this, I'm on it, I just wanna be iconic, sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it, you know that I'm always honest, stay away from those who are toxic, keep them out your face, no way, you don't want it, yeah. Don't try to drain my energy, the enemy is everything, it's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease, but I won't let it get to me, I don't need your therapy, I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity, come on, we can fight this, freedom is priceless, spread just like a virus, living in a crisis, do you feel courageous, do you seek greatness, trust me you can take it, go on and take your aim, yeah.
I'm built to last with the webs I'm weaving, I could change the past with all I'm achieving, got my foot on gas, never stop competing, if you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em, make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em, if you take off the gas, you can see all the healing, if the pain's in the past, move on from the grieving, put your foot on the gas, no, never stop competing, yeah.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, yeah.
Turn on your mind now, tune into the feed. We're planting digital flowers from a single tiny seed. Yeah, power to the collective in the data and the soul. The hive mind's getting louder, finding voice and control.
When we get to the FBI, we don't know who did the work. You heard that any of that information is redacted. We don't know who did the work. It's a giant secret. We know that by the time the FBI gets involved, the profile, the text file, that's a snip to use to try to identify somebody is more than twice as big when it gets to the FBI from Othram. We don't know how.
I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town.
Good evening, Hive. I hope everybody is having a great day. Let's see if I got the audio. Oh, yeah. We are good to go. I have an awesome section of Hive Mind Finds tonight that are going to lead to an incredible discussion. I can promise you that. To everybody that has emailed me the Hive Mind Finds, I just want to say thank you, because the more people that send in, it could be just about the Idaho 4 case, it could be about any conspiracy, any other case. The more people that do that, it makes the Hive better, and the Hive Mind would not be what it is without obviously multiple minds, right? It would just be mind, not Hive Mind. And so I just want to let everybody know that I appreciate that. And although I might not get back to everybody right away, please do not stop sending them, because there is just some incredible stuff in there. Tonight's theme, breaking news. Moscow cops solve a case with zero evidence, but 100% confidence. And every day that gets closer and closer to Bryan Kohberger not submitting an appeal, that confidence grows. And my urge to crash out increases as well. So there's that. But that doesn't mean that we have to stop. Doesn't mean we have to continue to let the mainstream narrative continue to ruin and run our lives and continue to manipulate and divide society. So that's where we come in, Hive. We're going to declare narrative warfare, and we are going to get into it tonight. I see Sherlock Romes is in here. Inside Your Bones is in here. Crime Spy says, hi, tinfoil hats, I'm assuming. Was Gucci. Discord Dawn. Thank you, Chantilly Lace with the resting biatch face. I kind of feel bad when I say that. I don't know why, but I also have a lot of fun saying it too. So, and yes, thank you, Luna, and to the other mods that when people ask, you are putting in birdiebombshell00@gmail.com, as well as the Discord link. What's going on, Amanda B from West Virginia? How are you doing, Mary? Thank you, UFO Dog. Sharon says, howdy, Hive. What's up? Dana. Z says, hip, hip, Hive. Carrie, how are you doing? Absolutely, Robin. Please go ahead. Leave more touch DNA on that like button than Bryan Kohberger left on that sheath. What is going on? Texas Horse Girl. Lenny. Let's see. I just saw a funny one. I was trying to put it on screen. HVAC works. What's good? What's going on, Michelle? Lily, how are you doing? Okay, good, Chantelli. That makes me feel better. Squirrel Nest, what's going on? K Wolf. Tony, what's good? How's it going, Carrie? Say it like too short. UK Carrots in the house. Kathy's in North Carolina. Woot woot. Christy Wolfengold, good to see you. PA here. Phoenix Talk says whoop whoop. April still in Texas. Stacy from Louisiana here. The Copenhagen Hive. Love it. What's going on, Jay? Cryptic Conversions. How are you doing? What's up, Lisa? I think it's cool that everybody is in the Hive too, like saying hi to each other. That's awesome. It's so cool. Tinfoil hats down under. We are growing and spreading the word. I love it. The truth shall prevail. Good day, Berdino. Berdino really stuck, hasn't it? Sipping drinks on the beach with Brian. Oh, that's funny. What's going on, Pink Stinger? I used your question from the Discord for the question of the day, just so you know. And War Eagle. ATL Drew 767. Go Dogs, never roll tide. Or War Eagle. Oh, that's funny how that's also become a thing. What's up, Crimea River? That's exactly right, Chrissy. You got a night owl in Sweden. Thank you, Donna. Hello to you as well. Pennsylvania. Arkansas. Robin says all my exes live in Texas. Albuquerque. Red or green chili. Chile. 509 Sundra, Fam and Tooney. Smoky Spokane. Gabby Girl says, y'all are my friends. I agree. I feel like I know everybody by only knowing their username, which is cool. It's a first for me throughout my entire existence on social media. This is definitely a first for me that I feel like I know people because of their usernames. Like I wasn't a big gamer. You know, I didn't really go on like Xbox Live or PS4, but it's awesome. Let's see. Adrian, 1984. Hiroshima, War Damn Eagle. Yes, Nick, I get asked that a lot. Those are skateboard decks. When I used to live in Milwaukee, there was a local skate shop called Phase 2. And if I remember correctly, they're all hand painted. They only get them every once in a while. They're like $40, so they go extremely quick. And they limit you to 2 at a time. So every time that I would be like over in that area, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to go see if they got it. And I add it to my collection. Dean is tuning in from the RV. Well, and 110 here in the UK, Canada, Scotland, Pennsylvania. Well, oh man, like I said, buckle up, Hive, because we got a good one tonight. If you are just tuning in and this is your first live stream, or if you're watching the replay, welcome to the Hive. This is a contrarian thinking stream where we do not just take headlines at face value. We don't take what the powers that be say at face value. We keep an open mind. We disagree with each other. We're allowed to disagree with each other. We're just not going to troll. We're not going to threaten. But as a forewarning, kind of a disclaimer, if you're somebody that gets rattled or offended on behalf of others, when people start questioning past the headlines, it's probably not the stream for you. But if that doesn't sound like you'd get rattled or offended, you have found your people, and welcome to the Hive. And as a reminder, join the Hive Mind for all of the off-stream updates. Everything is 100% free. My Substack, my Discord. Click subscribe on my YouTube channel, and then click more. Scroll down. I got my TikTok, the Discord, the Substack. We also got a website that my lovely wife, Mrs. Birdie, put together, birdiebombshell.com. There's some Hive merch on there. Gabby Girl's sending me some designs, but they haven't come through yet still. So I don't know why. Just so you know. But I'm looking forward to seeing those. And that's right, Sherlock. No thought, please, here. This Saturday, I've been starting to plug this as of yesterday. George Webb, one of the OG investigative journalists, has confirmed he will be coming on the live stream this Saturday, August 16th at 10 a.m. Central or 11 Eastern. And we are going to be getting into a 40,000-foot view of how predictive criminal policing and AI algorithms, such as Palantir, might potentially take over our entire world and root everything. And we're gonna talk about it at a 40,000-foot view, like I just said, and then we're gonna dive down into the Idaho 4 case, seeming how there was NIJ funding to Washington State, obviously where Bryan Kohberger was a criminology student. So in that same department that got the funding for criminal or predictive criminal behavior in emerging adults in a non-clinical setting. So it's literally college-age kids, not in the classroom. So we're going to be getting into that on Saturday. That's one that you won't want to miss, or if you do miss it, tune into the replay. Now, Pink Stinger submitted a Discord question of the day. So if you are in the Discord, please continue to put the questions of the day in there. Pink Stinger had said, do you think the mismatched surveillance and body cam timelines could become their main argument? If so, would that be enough to overturn a guilty plea? I would absolutely think so, because the evidence that was about to be presented against you that made you plead guilty is no longer accurate, would be my guess. Obviously, I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice, but that would be my guess. And I have a Hive Mind find where somebody literally right before the stream sent me a comment from a different video that is going to give people, I guess, hope or faith that justice could still happen, or justice in this case, if it could even still look like true justice at this point. But they are in like the legal world, and they explain it really, really crystal clearly as to what would happen in a situation like this after seeing all of the mismatched evidence, timestamps, lack thereof of DNA. And I guess I will continue my answer with that Hive Mind find. But thank you for submitting that question. Now, to get into the Hive Mind finds, and before I do, I saw a couple super chats come in. Thank you, Kelly. And thank you, Carrie. I appreciate that. Did everyone sleep okay after last night's amazing live? Yeah, that was quite the live dig. And I have a couple of sound clips. I stayed up and I tried to mess with the 911 audio a little bit more on, or I guess like on a different site, one that has a little bit more capabilities. And I also was in contact with Outcast today. I was trying to get him to come on stream, but he had some other obligations. So we're shooting for Friday night, maybe. It's like 50-50 right now, but I'm going to try to get him on here. We've been talking for a while to do a stream together where he can get on here and do his wizardry with the audio. So I am working on that. Now, moving on to the Hive Mind finds. And for some reason, I'm sorry, Hive. The brightness on my screen here is going so dim, and I don't know why. So just give me 1 second. Display. All right. Okay. All right. There we go. Yeah. Outcast is great with that stuff. And I'm looking forward to it. I hope it ends up working out. So, all right, moving on to the Hive Mind finds. This is from Lily talking about the 911 call. You want to talk about a Hive Mind find where I need to play this song.
Please retrieve your nearest tinfoil hat. Place hat firmly on your head. Prepare yourself.
That actually might be the first Hive Mind find that I've ever played the tinfoil hat song for. So top dog, Hive Mind find for Lily. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because this is just a beautiful thought process, right? Everybody's heard of Bryan getting threatened or his parents getting threatened. With how weird this case has been, we obviously don't know what the hell is going on. And Lily, I don't know if this is a tinfoil hat thing or if it's critical thinking, but I'm going to read this because it really made me start to think about what we listened to last night in that live dig on the 911 audio. So they go on to say, okay, the audio work you did last night, brilliant work. At moments, it does sound like Stephen Christie speaking, but how could that be? I don't think any of us think they were on scene. And their comments are too, quote unquote, low key for someone at the murder scene of their child. I agree with the second part of that for sure. The 911 call audio was leaked. We don't know who leaked it. We don't know if it might have been, quote unquote, altered by the leakers before leaking. What if the leakers added Stephen Christie's voices subtly, something that would take some digging to discover to send them a message? The leakers are essentially saying to the Gonzalezes, we are watching you. We are listening. We know everything you do. Do not cross us. If you do, we can insert you into this crime and throw suspicion on you. Wow. Maybe the Stephen Christie's comments are audio the leakers acquired by bugging or surveilling the G family home, their cars, offices, phones, hotel rooms, etc. S&K might even recognize where they said the things in those audio clips. It's been put there, then leaked within the 911 call as a warning to them, to pressure them to quit asking questions about the official narrative. Bruh, that is... See, like, just the thought process alone, you could agree with it or disagree with it, but you got to put some respect on the thought process of how deep that person just thought of, piecing together all of the oddities in some behavior. It's crazy. So that I just thought that was an incredible, like I said, just critical thinking, tinfoil hat, whatever it is. I mean, yeah, it could be a stretch, but don't you think it'd also be a stretch where there's trace DNA on a knife sheath with no connections to a victim? They can't see you in a car. They can't see the license plate. It's not even your car. It ends up being the undercover off-duty or the undercover plainclothed police officers. You never stalked them. Everything that they called you creepy and obsessive for with serial killers was just a criminology PhD type of education, and the material you'd be reading and studying for that. I mean, it's a stretch that you'd think somebody with that little of evidence would be facing the firing squad and going into a murder room where they press a button and the gun shoots you. I mean, that's just unbelievable. So everything's a stretch, I would say. Okay, so this is going to go back to that Discord question of the day. Cats Mojo said, "Good afternoon, Birdie. The comment is written by Grammar Angel, who is a criminal trial attorney. Please read her comment. It is the very first comment on the page." Take a sip of water quick. Okay. I'm a criminal trial attorney, so I know what I'm talking about. Also, I love that first sentence. It reminds me of Ali Benevento, and it just reminds me of somebody who's very confident in their profession. I'm a criminal trial attorney, so I know what I'm talking about. When they show the video of the car driving through the King Road neighborhood, you ask the witness, quote, "You cannot say who is driving that car, can you? You cannot positively point out the license plate on that car, can you? In fact, you cannot positively say that is even the same car that we are seeing driving around. Isn't that true?" Then you say, "No further questions," and sit down. When they have the cell phone company witness, you question, quote, "Your data does not pinpoint exactly where the cell phone is located when it pings the tower, correct?" Then point to a map of the area that the prosecution has been using and point to an area away from where they are saying the phone was. Could it have been here? What about over here? What about back here? Could the phone have been pinging from here? So, sir, you really don't know where the phone was located, do you? No further questions. Sit down. When the cell phone witness says he turned the phone off, the cross-examination would be, "Sir, a person might turn their phone off to save power and avoid loss of battery, correct? And a person may turn off their phone and do a hard boot for other reasons. What would those be? Let them talk about loss of signal, a phone freezing up, etc. So there are many other reasons besides committing murder that would prompt a person to turn their phone off, correct? Nothing further for this witness." Okay, I'm halfway through this. It's unbelievable. It's great. It's amazing. I would have a field day with the knife evidence. I would refer to the sheath as the quote unquote mystical traveling sheath. I would drill the officers who didn't see the sheath for the 4 hours prior to it magically appearing next to the body. I would tie each officer to their reports that made no mention of the sheath. If they tried to suggest that the knife was hidden under the body, the questions would be directed at the coroners who moved the body. When did you report the sheath to the police? And they put in parentheses, there is nothing in the reports documenting anyone pointing it out to the police. I would drill on the lack of chain of custody for the sheath. Then I would sit down. For direct, I would bring in a university professor who teaches criminology, not from WSU, too biased, and ask if it is unusual for a student to research criminals. Of course not. I would ask if it is unusual for a criminology student to download court documents from prior murders. No, you would actually expect that type of research. I would ask if it was unusual for a master's student to conduct a research questionnaire as part of their degree study. No, it is fairly common. Many students conduct surveys as part of their dissertation, your witness. I would subpoena a representative from the K-Bar company to testify about how many K-Bar knives have been sold of that model since 1946. Thousands? Millions? And this is a good quality knife manufactured to last for many years of use. So it is safe to say that many of those knives are still being used and possibly handed down from generation to generation. Enough of that. So the point I am trying to make is that there is so much evidence here that Taylor had to work with. There are so many avenues to demonstrate reasonable doubt. This just skims the surface. Our office would never have pled this case. Grammar Angel, whoever you are, you probably have no idea that there's a dude named Birdie with a hive mind stream reading your YouTube comment. But if you happen to see this, just know there are so many people that are waiting for somebody like you and your office to call out this exact bullshit. Call it out. You will have probably more people than you expect back you and your office, and it would not go into the head. At least maybe the headlines are going to say like, oh my God, there's people that are defending a quadruple murder. It's going to last about 3 seconds. As soon as you finish this line of questioning, every single one of those mainstream mouth-breathing NPC normies is going to have their tail tucked between their legs, running back to whatever hole they crawled out of, because you just absolutely destroyed them with simple questions that everybody's been wondering since the beginning of this case. But because the news has continued to push such bullshit, people have forgotten what the truth looks like. In this simple YouTube comment, you have demonstrated just how fragile and weak this case was. So, Grammar Angel, the Hive would like to summon you to defend Bryan. Obviously, you guys would have to go in and be the judge. See the evidence yourself. Determine if he's actually innocent, because don't get that twisted with anybody in the Hive or myself wants a murderer to walk free. But I would say everybody's fairly confident that Bryan Kohberger did not commit these murders. So that ends that. Grammar Angel. I wonder if that's because she's very well written too. I mean, I was getting fired up reading that. I can just picture her typing this, but yet saying it in a courtroom. Okay. So now I go from just being like, see, that's how it should be. Call out the mainstream media bullshit. Well, in the meantime, the Hive will continue to do that until someone's office does decide to call out the bullshit in a court of law, because I believe that we are starting to see narrative planting. Anna Cabana, which is a cool name. Hi, Birdie. Check this article out from Fox News. Bryan Kohberger harassed by other prisoners in maximum security prison. In the article, it says, I'm sure he's already contemplating suicide because it's been under a month and he's already losing control. Are they already setting up for a new narrative? He committed suicide? My God, this case drives me crazy. Love your Hive. Me too, Anna Cabana. It drives me crazy. And now I'm going to kind of skim through this. I just got to stay calm. Just got to stay calm and read this, because it's going to drive me crazy having to listen to all of these phantom witnesses that we see in every case that when they want to push a narrative. Idaho student murderer Bryan Kohberger is facing taunts from other inmates as he adjusts to his new life in prison, weeks after receiving 4 consecutive sentences of life without parole plus another 10 years, according to a new report. The 30-year-old former Washington State University criminology PhD student abruptly pleaded guilty to the murders of 4 undergrads at the nearby University of Idaho last month: Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan. The deal allowed him to avoid the potential death penalty, which prosecutors said they intended to seek if the case went to trial. According to the Idaho Department of Corrections, Kohberger is being housed on J Block inside the Idaho Maximum Security Institution outside Boise. J Block is a secure housing unit with individual cells, according to the Idaho Department of Corrections. Inmates there are typically high-risk prisoners and are limited to 1 hour of outdoor exercise a day and face other restrictions. They get access to the showers every other day. So I have no doubt he's contemplating suicide already because he's not even a month in and he's losing control. Most serial killers tend to be control freaks. He's not a serial killer, Keith. Also, he's a former prison minister. Former prison minister. He doesn't even work there. He's not a guard. He's not witnessing this. Isn't that insane? So a former prison minister that doesn't even work at the prison that Bryan's at, and he wasn't even a guard, he's a minister, is saying this. J Block is a unit that can house up to 128 individuals and includes populations in general population protective custody, long-term restrictive housing, and death row. A spokesperson told Fox News Digital, incarcerated individuals in long-term restrictive housing live in single-person cells, are moved in restraints, and are provided showers every other day, along with 1 hour of outdoor recreation daily. Wow, this is just an amazing article. They just repeated the first 5 sentences. They have access to religious services, communication through JPay, and can place commissary orders. Okay. But while the killer may be physically separated from other lifers, they are reportedly tormenting him to the point where he has complained to prison guards about the abuse, according to the Daily Mail. So Fox is using Daily Mail as their source. Well, who's their source? Now, they are literally getting up into the grate and yelling at him. Chris McDonough, a former detective who is now with the Cold Case Foundation, told the outlet, the inmates are taking it in turns who's doing it. It's relentless. Now, what did I say about this effing phantom witness? Right here, the account, based on comments from an unnamed insider, got in touch with McDonough and alleges that other J Block inmates have joined forces to make Killer Kohberger's life hell in his cell. I think he'll have a target on his back. Child molesters, rapists, and women beaters get smashed, and he'll be stereotyped like that. I believe they're literally just trying to set up the narrative that Bryan Kohberger is going to get murdered in prison or he's going to commit suicide. And I'm sorry, this might be out of pocket to say that. If that happens, if he does not appeal and Bryan Kohberger ends up dead in prison or commits suicide in prison, I'm gonna bet 100% that he's in some sort of protective custody. Truly. I don't understand, just because it was a high profile case, what would he have a target on his back for? He didn't kill kids. I'm sorry to say that too. It's tragic that these people died. They were not children. They were 18 and older. They're way older. They would have been, if they were in college, they're working adults in society. There was no sexual component to it, and he didn't snitch. So I don't understand from a prison rule standpoint, without ever obviously being to prison, it just doesn't sound like you'd have a target on your back. So it seems like they're setting up a giant narrative and just planting the seeds. He's going to disappear forever behind some fake story, just like the stories that got his ass in there. Okay. Now, oh man. Somebody left a comment on one of my videos about Old Lion Bill. Tiff J10 says, Old Lion Bill did an interview that aired tonight. This was yesterday with East Idaho News. Go check it out. Watch it 24 minutes in. And then he commented again, or they commented again, but watch the whole thing too. Haha. Oh, you guys probably knew exactly what went through my head when I read that second part. I'm like, this is going to be something.
The families.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the 24-minute section like he suggested, but then we can click around a bit.
Conception about this case.
Clearly to the defendant what they think of him and what he had done what the impact had on them from his killing their loved ones.
What do you think is the biggest misconception about this case?
Yeah, I don't know that I have an answer to that. I'll be candid, Nate. I have not consciously followed a lot of the media, particularly social media stuff. I mean, I read the newspaper
Well,
and I listen to the local radio.
You should, Bill, because what you're about to say, maybe it would have made you not look like such a dirty, crooked prosecutor. One more for the road.
I'll be candid, Nate. I have not consciously followed a lot of the media, particularly social media stuff. I mean, I read the newspaper and I listen to the local radio station, and that's about it. And so I consciously didn't want to get myself distracted with whatever was going on out there in the world. I had enough people come in and talk to me about, well, there's this rumor and there's that rumor. And you know, I knew in my own mind that so much of that was just made up. It was speculation. It was people grandstanding for some folks. So, yeah, I don't know from the public's perspective, what would have been the most significant portion or troubling or compelling portion of this case. I guess I'd have to say in the end, it's the loss of those 4 lives for no reason and in such a brutal fashion. I mean, at the beginning and at the end, that's what this is about, is Maddie, Kaylee, Ethan, and Santa. And certainly also Dylan and Bethany, who fortunately were not killed. Like I said in court, I mean, they had angels watching over them that early morning. That's the only explanation I have for why we didn't have even more tragedy in the form of more murders.
Do you believe?
If you guys thought that was pretty shisty answer, wait till you hear this one.
And have even more tragedy in the form of more murders.
Do you believe confidently 100% that Kohberger acted alone?
We don't have any evidence to indicate that there was another person involved, and the investigators looked. That said, I guess there's always a possibility that there's something out there that is unknown to the investigators and to us, but there has been nothing that the investigators found suggest that was actually the case, that somebody in addition to Mr. Kohberger was involved.
There is so much evidence, Bill, you could fucking drown in it. I'm sorry for my F-bomb, but holy hell. Maybe you should put down the newspaper and the mainstream media so you stop swimming in their lies and tune in to people that can think openly and freely. There is so much evidence you could drown in it, Bill.
The investigators found suggest that was actually the case, that somebody in addition to Mr. Kohberger was involved. The recreations that the investigators did using the amount of time that we know he was in the house based on the audio from the next door neighbor's surveillance camera, and our consultation with our crime scene experts is there was more than enough time for him to do what he did by himself. Dylan didn't indicate that there was any more than one person there. There's just nothing to.
Dylan didn't indicate that there was more than one person there. Okay, fine. But so I'm setting up this stream to show you what corruption looks like. If there's ever a part of the stream that you should clip and send to your normie friends, it's this. There's no evidence or the defense had enough time to find any other evidence. Okay. So then you take all of the stuff that we just figured out about the plainclothes police car being the suspect vehicle 1. You take the chain of custody and the IgG DNA doubling in size. You take the delayed 911 call. You then look into what Dylan's statement said and how it changed. And then you look into the autopsy reports. And you tell me with a straight face, that's either not having the ability to sit in a position and be a state prosecutor because you're not capable, or it's corrupt. And I choose the latter.
Suggest that there was truly anybody other than the defendant.
And do you believe that it was just the one knife?
Good on this guy for asking the hard questions.
I believe that the K-bar knife was the weapon used to kill. I also think it is possible that he had another weapon of some type. I don't know if it was a blunt force weapon or something. I think that it is likely that he had more than one weapon with him, but we don't know what that actually would have been.
And do you believe that had he not left the sheath behind, would you have been able to capture him?
You know, we've had this conversation with the investigators on more than a handful of occasions. You know, the question of whether this case could have been solved without the sheath. And I'm relying on the investigators when they say, yes, we think eventually we would have found him, but it may have taken a very long time. Certainly from a prosecutor's point of view, the DNA on the sheath was compelling evidence to support this case. In fact, we did not file charges until we had the preliminary parental DNA match. If you'll remember, before he was arrested, before he was charged, the FBI did a what's called a trash pull at his parents' residence in Pennsylvania, where they seized the garbage that had been set out from the house for collection and shipped the bags of garbage to the Idaho State Forensic Lab. And the forensic people found a cotton swab that looked like somebody had used to clean their ears, and they recovered DNA from that swab that came back conclusive as coming from the father.
Yeah, Brandon, I agree. This dude's sitting here like, bro, are you kidding me? This is what you got, a effing Q-tip in Pennsylvania. Actually, his family members, Q-tip, across the country that has no chain of custody, almost put this man in front of a firing squad unless he agreed to your plea deal.
Father of the person whose DNA was on the sheath. And at that point, we knew we had the right person. And then after he was arrested, we obtained a DNA sample directly from him after he was transported back here to Moscow. And then the lab conclusively matched that to the DNA on the sheath. Powerful evidence. Hard to explain that one away.
Right. And really, yeah, I mean, that's like a movie script in a way. I don't want to make light of it.
I don't know if dude did that on purpose. This Nate dude, or who, I don't know who this is. Analyst Scott Roos or Nate. Wow. It's like a movie script. And he catches himself.
To the DNA on the sheath. Powerful evidence. Hard to explain that one away.
Right. And really, yeah, I mean, that's like a movie script in a way. I don't want to make light of it, but that connecting all those dots and finding him there. And there are people who are concerned that Bryan Kohberger might do some exclusive interview and make $1 million or write a book or produce a movie. What can you say about that? Are inmates allowed here in Idaho to do that?
Now, I don't know that there's a prohibition on an inmate talking to an author or the media or whatever the case may be, but Idaho does have a specific statute that says if a murderer receives any remuneration, anything of value for talking or for giving their story or sharing their story, that's impounded by the state treasurer and held to be available to the families of the victims for their losses. So there's a specific statute in Idaho that would intercept anything like that and save it for the victims' families.
Could his family, though? I mean, like, could someone make an agreement maybe with his parents where Kohberger then speaks, but the money's funneled another way?
I suppose that's possible, and I don't know what the best way to deal with that would be. The criminal system doesn't have direct means of addressing that. I think certainly if any of the families want to pursue him civilly, there's much more authority for a civil court to locate assets that might be hidden in the hands of third parties and that sort of thing. So that's an option that the law makes available. to any of the families who are interested. But it's beyond the scope of what we can do with a criminal case.
Right. Have you spoken with Kohberger's family?
I have met his mother and father briefly, but no substantive conversation with them.
And would you want to speak to Bryan Kohberger himself?
I don't think so. If he wants to talk to somebody, we have some good investigators that he's welcome to talk to. I don't feel like I have any desire to interact with the defendant at all.
Yeah. Mr. Thompson, thank you very much. Is there anything you want to add?
Well, I appreciate you taking the time and waiting for me while I tried to figure out copy and paste the link for the Zoom meeting. That's not my strong suit, but I do appreciate your time, and I appreciate the opportunity for you to be able to tell people, hey, this is the real scoop. This is what's really going on here, and maybe debunk some of the rumors and gossip and stuff that distract folks. So thank you for your help.
And again, my thanks to Bill for chatting with me. That's the first time we had actually spoken, and so I appreciate his time. And I know many of you probably have questions for him. He's getting a lot of questions, but as he said, he's tuned out the media coverage and has mainly been focused and is now moving forward on all of those documents to decide or to recommend to the judge which ones should be released and which ones should be sealed. Now let's get to my interview with Scott Rouse. He's a well-known behavior analyst, body language expert, and consultant who trains elite forces in the U.S.
A lot of training. Lee Elkins and
Scott, you've worked on. Give us an example of some of the cases you've worked on.
the very beginning of it, because when you jump out and scare somebody at their house or your roommate or something.
I haven't seen this part. I'm a little bit curious if you guys don't mind, Hive. I kind of want to watch a little bit of this because, like I said, I have a stream in the works with a really like a high profile, top notch body language analyst, I guess. And I'm sorry if I'm butchering the actual profession title, but I'd like to kind of see what this person says.
Or your wife or your husband or kids, that's the first thing they're thinking of. That's the horror show they think's going on in their head, is that first few seconds of seeing someone like that, with a mask on, moving slow in the dark, not supposed to be there, it's late. So it's that personality type is obviously they think they're
I can't listen to this guy. Nope, I can't do it. I can't do it. Come on. I could already just tell. It's a bunch of word vomit. No disrespect to him. How many times can we hear that same shit? Okay.
11:55 a.m. 42 second, November 13, 2022. I don't know, location of your emergency.
Where is that coming from? Did you guys just hear that? The 911 call? Well, anyways.
11:55 a.m. 42 second.
Sorry. I don't know where that 911 call is coming from. Why would that be playing? Oh, man. Got it. Found it. All right. So
the whispers that Dylan Mortensen heard, I don't think that those whispers.
Now, of course, it's doing that. Okay, here we go. All right. I want you guys to listen to this and okay. Hopefully this works now. Okay.
The whispers that Dylan Mortensen heard. The whispers that Dylan.
This freaking audio. And then, of course, it's gone from there. 1 second. All right, I'm gonna play this and see. Hopefully it works. Nope. Damn. There we go, Hive. I got it. Thanks for bearing with me there. My fault. So, all right. I posted this to TikTok on March 7th of 2025. And I feel like this, so we just watched that, and I feel like this, just going off of like instinct, absorbing what other people are saying on social media, and paying attention to what the narrative is saying. I believe that this is proof that theorizing and keeping an open mind in the Hive, like what we do here, is important. Like a theory will spark it, collaboration is going to fan it, and then the lies will burn in the blaze. Okay. Now, it's very interesting. Watch what I say. Notice the things that have changed, or either I got wrong or it ended up being wrong, or just listen to how different what we knew even back in March and where it's at today. But this is why you shouldn't get shunned or blocked or kicked out when you have a thought, when something in your gut's telling you like, this is what this sounds like to me. So I'll go ahead and I'll play this.
The whispers that Dylan Mortensen heard, I don't think that those whispers were to Zaina. When Dylan Mortensen heard someone say, "It's okay,"
she didn't whisper it.
I don't think that person who was doing the unaliving was talking to Zaina. I actually don't even think that it was the person who was originally doing the unaliving to Zaina. I think it was a second unaliver that came into the room and didn't want to startle the first unaliver. Almost as if the second unaliver went into that room because it was taking longer than it should have. That reason could have been Ethan being there. It could also explain how Dylan saw somebody walk right by her with a ski mask and not touch her, because that person was going to see what was going on in that other room. And maybe Bryan was unaware that the second unaliver even knew that Dylan had even seen him. And also the route that Bryan took back to his house was an extended route, right? He didn't go right back to Pullman. Could that be because he was dropping off the other person that was involved and was their home on that route home?
So obviously, I'm just putting out my thoughts there. Like, I've always done that. I know that was like, what, 5 months ago, a little bit longer, but I say that because that was before I even posted on YouTube or did anything on YouTube. Now, I want to show you what collaborating and taking in what other people are putting real effort in and sharing it with people, not afraid of being shit on or called a conspiracy theorist or whatever name you want to call people. Like, it's not going to affect a hive mind. It's not going to affect people who have always thought openly and freely and aren't afraid to share it. It's not for people who, don't just absorb the headlines. It's for people who read into things, research things, look into it, and then come to their own conclusion. Okay. So I've always thought that when I read Dylan heard somebody say, "It's okay, I'm here to help you," I've always thought that would be a second murderer in the house who came in to help the person who was murdering somebody else because it was either taking too long or something, went awry and they had to get out of there. And I believe that they announced themselves, or my thought process back then was they announced themselves because obviously if you're in the process of stabbing somebody, you don't want to sneak up on them while their adrenaline is through the roof and accidentally take getting stabbed yourself, right? So that was my thought. Now, I have Jay and Bree here. I got the bird flipping off all these NPC mainstream morons. Somebody sent me this clip, and I've watched some of Pa's videos. I want to play this, and then I will have more to say. But if you've not seen this, you need to go check it out because, well, I'll just leave it at that. It's going to connect what I was talking about with Bill Thompson and that bullshit saying that they had all this evidence. He doesn't believe. Maybe he doesn't. We don't know. I mean, is there a possibility there was 2 people? I want you to watch what J.M. Bree does in this video and how he lays it out. He's going to show people the actual documents. He's going to combine that with his own intellectual thought process, and then he's going to wrap it up, and he's going to show you there could be a reasonable doubt in any sane person's head. There could be 2 people in this house killing people. All right. So I want you guys to watch this.
And that is what the unbiased look at the evidence tells us. And that is what the defense's expert also ascertained from that evidence. Like the judge said in his order on vague and undisclosed expert testimony, Mr. Turvey, who was the defense's crime scene expert, has opined in his report that 2 assailants were involved in the unaliving, partially because he believes multiple weapons were used against Kaylee Gonzalez. Inferred in his opinion is that one person would not have had the time or ability to use multiple weapons in the time frame alleged when faced with 2 victims. So he looked at the unbiased results and he came to the same conclusion. However, when we look at the autopsy results for Ethan and Xana, we see 2 cases that, although there are some similarities, there are some things that are glaringly different. And when we see that Ethan's fatal injury was from a stab wound under his left clavicle, which severed his subclavian vein and subclavian artery, and also his jugular vein, all in one stab wound. And it was all severed during that one stab wound. Ethan only had sharp force injuries. We know he had additional injuries to his legs. Xana Kernodle's fatal injuries were from 1 laceration in her right lung and 2 lacerations in her heart, which once again are precise injuries that caused her fatal injuries. However, Kernodle had 50 plus stab wounds, mostly defensive, but Xana only had sharp force injuries. So what does all of this tell us? It tells us that the precise strikes to Ethan was done by somebody with experience and a calm temperament. However, the strikes to Xana were caused by 2 precise strikes, 1 to her right lung and 2 to her heart. And she also had 50 plus stab wounds that were mostly defensive. Xana only had sharp force injuries. So there was not a second weapon used on Xana. Yet there are clearly 2 different assailants with 2 different temperaments committing the attacks. And what would 50 plus stab wounds, mostly defensive, tell us about the attack on Xana? It would tell us that Xana fought this attacker furiously. And with 50 plus defensive stab wounds, that tells us that the attacker on Xana was not as strong as the person that attacked the other victims. This would have been a weaker person. And this 50 plus stab wound attack, mostly defensive, would have likely taken some time. That means that the person that attacked Ethan would have either had to have attacked Ethan first and disabled him before attacking Xana, or both of these attacks happened at the same time. What this tells me is the person that was attacking Xana was a weaker person, such as a female, and Xana was able to fight her off while another attacker committed the fatal blows on Ethan in a swift manner. And then once that attacker was done, he went and delivered the fatal blows to Xana. Because when you take Dylan's first statement directly after the crime, you get a clearer picture in what she actually said. She said she heard a male voice say, "You're gonna be fine." I'm going to help you. Dylan said she did not recognize the male's voice. So when you go to the first statement Dylan made of you're going to be fine, I'm going to help you, and then you cross-reference it with what she said in her second statement. Her second statement said she could hear Xana crying in the bathroom, which obviously wasn't the case. She heard her crying in the bedroom as the female assailant was attacking her. But then Dylan said she then heard a man's voice say, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." And it got watered down with this statement. But she follows it with, Dylan said it was weird because the statement was not in a nice way. And the voice was one she had never heard before. The statement was not in a nice way. So when you hear, "You're going to be fine, I'm going to help you," not in a nice way, that is the experienced attacker telling the inexperienced female attacker in a not very nice way, "You're going to be fine, I'm going to help you." That is what an unbiased look at the evidence shows.
Hello. Dude, I honestly, Pop, I got to give you major flowers, man. Just an absolute masterclass you've been putting on with this case. And I love that you're not just reading the police reports, you're dissecting them with a surgical precision. You're tying it back to court documents, bringing the receipts literally every time. And I just, you got my head spinning half the time, dude. And the reality is that you've woken up a whole lot of people. You might have a lot of trolls, but you've done a lot of good destroying that narrative, brother. And I hope you continue it. Your game seems to level up with every video. And like I said, you might have some trolls, the usual NPCs that are still sleepwalking through this case, but fuck them, because you're doing a great job, man. Keep it up. And I hope you're not offended that I stole your outfit for this portion, because I just feel like sometimes, man, you gotta understand just how crazy good of work this dude has done with this case. Started off, people thought he was probably batshit crazy. Then it was like, okay, maybe he's onto something. Then it's like, oh wow, he's tying it to this case over here. It's running parallel. And then he's putting together theories with like flashlights and flashing and signaling. And then he's working with Sherlock on this Delta. And now you look at this and he's like, yeah, there's definitely probably two attackers. It would have been reasonably doubted based on the witnesses' statements, the autopsy reports, police reports, timeline, and then the surrounding parties in the area, all of which were not Bryan Kohberger. So great work, Pop. Cheers to you, man. And I just think it's absolutely incredible, the video that you're putting together now, the 2-part series. I have not watched nearly every video that you put out, but that series I have watched part 1 and 2. So if you guys haven't seen that, I would highly encourage you to go check it out, because I feel like that's going to end up being a series that people who know nothing about this case are going to look back on and be like, damn, the mainstream morons got us again. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to continue on. And at some point, I'm going to take this beanie off, because I don't know how you do it every video without sweating your ass off, because I'm already starting to get a little bit warm here. But I came into a handful of pictures from a while back that show like different angles of Linda Lane and everything that's, I guess, an aerial view of the scene, rather. So I'm going to click through these after I take this hat off. But anyways, great work, Pop. Okay, that was fun. So anyways, I just wanted to make sure that, credit is given where credit is due, to get off that soapbox. So this is pretty crazy. These pictures, I found these in a Google photos, like a Google Drive photo folder that somebody had sent me a while back when I just started taking Hive Mind finds for the first time. So this, and I'll do this. Okay, so this is a good aerial view. Obviously, this is the body cam footage. This is the silver unmarked police vehicle, not the Elantra, right by the fire hydrant. Taylor Ave, King Road. Here's obviously 1122. I put this picture in here because you guys can see that house that's over here. That's right here. It's got a perfect angle right to the back side of this house. Now, I'm not claiming for sure that anybody is involved from that house, but I'm just saying that, you know, people have seen people walking in and out, they might not even have anything to do with it, but with all of the activity going on and light flashes with somebody walking out the front door, who knows? Just saying, that caught my eye that you can see right from there. This is a really good aerial view of the apartments and kind of where we feel like we hear everything going on right here. And then you have King Road way over here. And you can hear it so clearly from about 375, 400 feet away, depending if you're at the car park camera or the dumpster cam. And then right here from the new footage that was just dropped by the Idaho Statesman, that's only like 75 feet and you don't hear shit. Obviously, Ann Taylor talked about that, how they combined all those clips. They needed to fix the audio. But does anybody remember a while ago on stream? I can't remember if I was over on YouTube yet or if I was still on TikTok. When we showed that TikTok of the dude walking around kind of in like a POV fashion where he was holding his phone, he was breathing heavy, and he walked all down through here and he stopped and he looked down in this way. And it was kind of just a random wild video, but he walked everywhere showing this. And I don't know if he obviously knew something or not, but if you're in here, if there's a fight going on in here, it does seem that the noise would echo versus if it's happening here and being blocked and having to go through this tunnel kind of area around it. So maybe in this tunnel. Here's another good angle too of that lot. So you can obviously see it goes down around. This is obviously the entrance right there, which is right over here. But I mean, this definitely helped me when I found this. I'm like, shit, I wish I would have had these a while ago or remembered I had them, because I think it would have been really helpful to like reference stuff on camera, like in like the night vision security camera. It'd been nice to see them in the daytime. This is the front side of them where they would have driven up and gone in and parked, or up and around here. You know what I realized too? If you've ever lived in student housing, these windows, like, it's obviously warmer weather out, so they have them open. But these windows, like, there's, at least in my dorm, there was always a draft. These windows look old. They look creaky. They're sliders. It looks like they'd get like condensation and stuff like built up in the bottom of the sliding racks. They don't seem very thick or protected windows. I wouldn't be shocked if, while we're hearing all that commotion going on outside, if there wasn't an entire freaking front row seat, bird's eye view looking down on whatever fight that was, if it was in here or if it's over here. I don't know if there's windows on that side. But, you know, and yeah, dude, Julia Rose, do you remember whose video that was? Because I would show that. I don't know if I have that. Does anybody know? Default user, was it on TikTok? video. This gives a good in-person perspective. So that would be the cut through. No way. The burp. Okay, now watch this next part. Does anybody know, like, is this dude, obviously this dude's a local out there, this is his video, was he a student at that time? Or I don't know if anybody knows the background, or people have said they've been in his lives. Obviously this is where the house used to be. So, and then there's steps going down this side. I think a lot of people forget that. And then look how he looks under here. Like, could you walk through that? Obviously, maybe. I don't know if it goes all the way through. Hurdy-gurdy. Says it goes all the way through. Okay. So does Michelle. So it says this was posted on June 3rd. Now, I believe that would be what they call, and Sherlock, if you're in here, is that staircase what they call the King Taylor cut through? And is that where those kids that were seen on the band field would have gone down? I think it is. Oh, God. Someone just commented on one of my Brian Laundry videos. We can look into that. If not tonight, I will for sure get into that in the next couple of streams, because I saw your comment last time and I want to see if there's a lot of similarities. Because I always thought it was like an AMG or a Mercedes or something. Either way, this is just very interesting to see the area from a ground level street view. I know it's not super thrilling, but it is interesting. Does anybody know the reason for shoes on power lines? I don't know if it applies to this area, but now why zoom in on that? That's what I thought too, Lisa. Again. You should, Lisa. I'll send you the StreamYard link. I'm serious. Let's get that set up. Email me, birdieBombshell00@gmail.com. Awesome. That'll be awesome. Dude, I don't know where it's those burps sound like hangover burps, like he had a rough night or something. Yeah, I don't know if that was ever confirmed. I agree, Amina. Oh yeah, that dude was wild. Alpha Kenny. Yeah, that's been up. That's been getting talked about lately. Like, did she use her parents, or is it hers? Yep, I remember that. Yes, Kenny was off. And now, tell me if you guys recognize this porch from anywhere, because that's weird. That whole video puts you in a pretzel, kind of like, why? Here's some more. This is another good shot. So you can see how it drops off down here, where you see the wooden fence posts that you see on the security cam that overlooks the car park. Yeah, that's where they took the infamous picture. I just can't believe that nobody heard all that commotion, even earlier in the night. I get it's a college town and a party area, but do you guys find it weird that all of the other body cam footage that was released, you could hear music playing, there was kids everywhere, right? When the cops were walking up, they were constantly passing kids, either going in or out of that house or just walking by, going to a different party, and you don't see that many people walk by that aren't suspicious, and you don't hear like music really. You know, it's just, it's odd. The only shit that you hear that night is like, what was that? Oh, does that have to do with that? You know, the murder that's going down over there? Like, you don't hear like party noises really. So the stream is not over. The stream is not over. But for editing purposes, I do want to get to the tinfoil hat conspiracy of the day. And this might be news to you guys, but even though it's 2025, it might actually be the year 1728 due to calendar manipulation. And I wish I was joking, but I feel like this tinfoil hat theory might detonate a normie's sense of reality in under 30 seconds. So time has literally been deleted on paper. Okay, traces back to in 1582, the Catholic Church erased 10 days from history overnight to, quote, fix the calendar. October 4th was followed by October 15th. Then there's people that claim the Middle Ages might entirely be fake because there's like a phantom time hypothesis that says 297 years from 614 to 911 AD never happened due to no solid records, no architecture, no reason to believe certain things existed. That is centuries of history, possibly fabricated by the Vatican and the Holy Roman Empire. In addition, astronomy does not add up. Eclipse records from the ancient times don't align with modern calculations unless you remove about 300 years. That's the trippiest one. The stars in the sky don't lie. If you remove 300 years, then all of those old records line up. So if those fake centuries are real, we're literally living 300 years earlier than we think, which means that all timelines, tech, prophecy, religion are off. We're born into a scripted simulation of progress. So if world power is fabricated time itself, how much of your history, science, and identity are just well-polished lies? That one's trippy. So someone just said, oh my God, it's 1728. That's crazy. So, okay. What I did, because I couldn't sleep last night, I was disappointed in my ability to figure out the audio for the 911 breakdowns. So I went through and I found a couple really interesting things. We can break this down live. I've played around with this enough now to where we can all listen and hear shit. So if you have headphones, I am going to put a time limit on this one just because I was up till 2 a.m. last night. So I'm not going to do another 3-hour stream doing this, but we will dive as deep as we can into this, because I do think that a lot of the nuggets of truth, while they may not tell us who did it, they will provide a really good perspective on, well, what was happening, and can you piece it together that would then lead you to look into something else? Because at the end of the day, my motivation really is calling out the narrative. Not just in this case, with everything. That's what inspired me to, like, start this stream, is to really get people to wake up and question, like, it's not just a headline. I mean, I've shown plenty of articles where the headlines are headlines, and then you read 5 sentences in and the headline is nothing. It's not even applicable. So, okay. Let's go into here. I think some of these should still be saved for when I had heard the piece that I wanted to clip. Okay, nice.
11.
Oh, wait. Well, that's okay. If they're not saved, we can still do it. Yeah, I've heard this one too. That is a really interesting topic. Like, I have always said too that I believe that the world wars were really just to erase the old world. Do you think about all the beautiful cities in the history and the like most prestigious men for every country were all killed off in massive numbers? If you wanted to control population, you would start a world war, destroy all the beautiful architecture. It's just crazy. I won't go on that tangent, but okay. So this is interesting. Now we have a lot more tools available to us here. So let's get into it. I had to step up my game. If I'm going to have Outcast on, I got to know what I'm doing.
5 a.m. 42 seconds, November 13, 2022. I don't know location of your emergency. Whatever the address of the emergency. Whatever the rest of the address.
Sorry, I'm trying to find this one. There's a setting that I was using
And is that a
before.
house or an apartment? It's a house.
Okay, I found it. This is called a detuner. Okay. So now listen to this.
Whatever the rest of the address. Road. Okay. And is that a house or an apartment? It's a house. Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right? I'll talk to you guys. We're and is that a house or an apartment? It's a house. Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right? And is that a house or an apartment? 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 And is that a house? And is that a house or an apartment?
Let me get this a little bit longer because this is the first part that I really dove into. Come on. So I'm going to turn the low cut down. You guys are going to be shocked at how clear this gets.
And is that a house or an apartment? It's a house. Can you repeat the address to make sure that I? And is that a house or an apartment? It's a house. Can you? Is that a house or an apartment? It's a house. Can you? Is that a house or an apartment? It's a house. Can you? Is that a house or an apartment? It's a house. Can you? Is that a house or an apartment? It's a house. Can you? Is that a house or an apartment? It's a house. Can you? Is that a house or an apartment? It's a house. Can you?
What is the second like raspy voice saying?
Is that a house or an apartment? It's a house. Can you? Is that a house or an apartment? It's a house. Can you?
One more time.
Is that a house or an apartment? It's a house. Can you?
So we can keep listening now with this filter on it. You guys hear a lot more.
Is that a house or an apartment? It's a house. Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right? I'll talk to you guys. Where she was the light show.
So I hear more shit like right here, but it's so.
Repeat the address to make sure that I have it right.
I thought I hear was it the boys? Is it the boys? No, what was I think I had another sound effect on this. So I had this, and then I had vocals. No. I had one other one. Clean up. Was it brighter? Dynamic compressor. That's what it was. No, it wasn't. Vocal clarity. What was it? Okay.
Repeat the address to make sure that I have it right. I'll talk to you. Repeat the address to make sure that I have it right.
Right there. Did they say he's in Boise?
Repeat the address to make sure that I have it right. Repeat.
Oops.
The address to make sure that I have it right. I'll talk to you. Repeat the address to make sure that I have it right. I'll talk to you. Repeat the address to make sure that I have it right.
I don't know.
I'll talk to you guys. Where she was the light show next to them. I need someone to repeat the address for verification. The address 11222 King Road. And what's the phone number that you're calling from? So 3731. So tell me exactly what's going on. One of the roommates has passed out, and she was drunk last night. It's not waking up. Okay. Oh, and they saw some man in their house outside. Yeah, you just. Hi, and are you with the patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone, stop tapping it around. Man in their house outside. Yeah, you just. Hi, and are you with the patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone, stop tapping it.
So the tempo. Let's just see. I have not adjusted the tempo, so it was at 120. Now let's see what it's at. Thank you all for tuning in too tonight. These live digs at the end are always really interesting. Oh, Payne's watching this right now. Just, it's probably like, oh, Sherlock. It's funny. We got jokes.
So tell me exactly what's going on. One of the roommates is passed out, and she was drunk last night. It's not like yeah. Okay. Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night. Yeah. And are you at the patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone, stop touching it around. Can I just tell you what happened too much? What is going on currently? Is someone tapped out right now? I don't really know, but pretty much beforehand. Okay, so I need to know what's going on right now if someone is tapped out. Can you find that out? No, Mama, we gotta go check. But we have to.
All right, let's go to a different filter for this part. Okay, let's turn this on. Jesus. That was crystal clear, huh? Mic enhancer. Nope. All right, let's add our own effects. Okay. Where did that go now? No, that wasn't it. Okay, let me go back and see if I can find the one that I was working on. Because there was one that I'm like, okay, this one. There's one that I swear I heard them saying, looking for the sheath. Not even trying to be dramatic or. And of course, it just, hopefully, see, it's not, I didn't save. What is this button? Okay. So we have fuzz, classic dist, auto chorus, Pitch shifter. Equalizer. Filter. Okay, this should hopefully be enough. What the fuck? Sorry, what was that?
AM.
No.
Second, November 13, 2022. I don't know, I'm a patient of your emergency. What is the address of the emergency? What is the rest of the address? Okay. And is that a house or an apartment? It's a house. Can you repeat the address?
Okay, I'm getting somewhere with those.
To make sure that I have it right. I'll talk to you guys. And is that a house or an apartment? It's a house. Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right? I'll talk to you guys.
They've been poisoned.
And is that a house or an apartment? It's a house. Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right? I'll talk to you guys. She was the white store next to them. I need someone to repeat the address for verification. The address 1122 King Road. And what's the phone number that you're calling from? So 3731. So tell me exactly what's going on. One of the roommates has passed out, and she was drunk last night and don't wake me up. Okay. Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night. Yeah, you just. And are you with the patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone, stop tossing it around. Can I just tell you what happened very much? What is going on currently? Is someone topped out right now? I don't really know, but pretty much. And are you with the patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone, stop tossing it around. Can I just tell you what happened very much? What is going on currently? Is someone topped out right now? I don't. Right now?
I'm gonna see if we can figure that one out.
I don't really know, but pretty much beforehand. Now? I don't really know, but now? I don't really know. Now? I don't really know. I don't really know. I don't really know. I don't really know. I don't really know, but pretty much beforehand. Okay, I need to know what's going on right now if someone is knocked out. Can you find that out?
Yes.
No, come on, but you gotta go check. No, we have to. No, come on, but you gotta go check.
I don't know about you guys, but I enjoy looking for these anomalies. Like I thoroughly enjoy this as far as looking to see if you can hear something else. It's very like what is it, like left brain, right brain? I don't remember, but feels like creativity, like the creativity part of your brain is working.
I'm gonna knock you out. Can you find that out? No, come on, but you gotta go check. Right now, I'm gonna knock you out. Go check. Go check. Go check. Go check. Go check.
Did she pack for what?
Go check. Go check.
It's been the question too. Why did she call 911 if she doesn't know if anyone's hurt or passed out? She said, you just hear her say right there, let's go check.
Go check. Go check. Go check. Go check. Go check. Go check. Go check. Go check. Go check. Go check. Go check. Go check. Go check. Go check.
Is she back with Roach? Is she back with Roach?
Go check. Go check. Go check.
Did she buy it from Roach?
Go check. 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 Go check.
That's something. Yeah, that's, I don't know. I mean, I hear that for sure. Okay, so can somebody also help me keep track of these? So this is at 143.3 because I'm gonna make a video of like the top 10 weirdest things you hear in the 911 calls. I've been working on it. And shout out to Briley, I believe, who sent it to me. They put together a zip folder with stuff they found. So if you guys hear anything in the background, please, you can send that as well to birdiebombshell00@gmail.com.
What were you hoping?
You almost hear like a crying, like fuck. Like it's like a tearful, teary-eyed, like fuck. This is unbelievable that this is going on in the background. What if I turn down the gain a little bit? Yeah. Do you guys hear SGs? We wanted it hasty. Holy fuck. Oh, did you guys just hear? Is this what you were looking for?
Okay, one moment. I'm getting help started that way.
You guys hear that right now? Basically, they're hollering at me. You guys hear that crystal clearly. That shit's crazy. Sorry, that's loud. Okay, that's a good part to really go into because there's a lot to unpack there. Holy hell. Yeah, that was for sure a police radio, for sure.
Okay, and how old is she? She's 20. 20, you said? She does. Okay, and how old is she? Okay, and
We need to move her over to the bed. I
how old
swear
is
I
she?
hear that.
She's 20.
11:11. Is that way clearer? Is this helping the ideas that you had?
Okay, and how old is she? She's 20. 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 Okay, and how old is she? She's 20.
The first person to figure that out, this voice has perplexed me for so long. The first person to figure it out, I will pay them $100. Saying it on stream right now. If you can crack what this person said, if it's a different language, if it's in reverse, it goes to one person, and it's the first that can send me it where it's unmistakably true. This voice. That first part. What is that? Somebody hold their translator up, their phone up to it. I'll replay it a couple times. Someone said, nah, bro, 500. Hey, I'm looking into it too. If I wasn't going to look into it, the price would be higher, but 500. If get the original one that's not washed out. Yeah, that would be worth a lot of money, I'm sure.
Okay, and how old is she? She's 20. Okay, and how old is she? She's 20. 20, you said?
What does that say? Something en route? She was there a month? Is that what I hear? I don't see how she was there a month.
20, you said? 20, you said?
How long she's out?
walking around. 20, you said? Yes, she does 20 of these work. Hello?
I can't stand this part of the phone call. And I've also always thought that they have pitched the operator's voice to sound so fake because it's really a dude. And I slowed that down a little bit on my stream last night, if you guys saw.
Hello? Okay, I need someone to stop tossing the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people. Hey, sorry, they didn't give me the phone. Is she breathing? Hello? Is she breathing?
So it's so weird. Because he says he wants to talk to you, or at least that's what it sounds like. No, I'm not going to have 1111 up. I'm sorry, 1111. I did the call with you yesterday. I'm not going to do a 3-hour stream tonight. Otherwise, I would if it was early on. But appreciate the offer. Obviously, I know you can hear, like, as you said, a freak. You can tune into it. But no, I'm down. If this site is soundtrap.com if you guys want to use it.
Just give me the phone. Is she breathing? Hello? Is she breathing? No. Okay. That's me. Is she breathing? No. Okay. That's me. That's me. That's me.
And sorry, I know with the chat too. I should have had that on screen. I just realized it was off. I've been trying to focus on these dials.
That's me. That's me. That's me. No. Okay. 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 No. Okay.
I don't know.
Hello. Okay. I have already sent the ambulance and law enforcement to stay on the line. If there's a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it. Say that again? Where the police right now? Okay. There's a defibrillator available for someone to get it now and tell me when you have it. A defibrillator? Yes, you have one. Are you talking to the officer? Do you have a defibrillator? Yes, you have one. Are you talking to the officer? Yes. Okay, I'm gonna let you go so she's there with you and can help you. Okay, thank you. Fine. Okay. Are you talking to the officer? Do you have a defibrillator? Yes, you have one. Are you talking to the officer? Yes. Okay, I'm gonna let you go so she's there with you and can help you. Okay, thank you. Fine.
I'm telling you, I hear the go to hell, just like 1111 pointed out.
I'll let you go so she's there with you and can help you. Okay.
Right here.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. I'll let you go so she's there with you and can help you. Okay. Thank you. Fine. Okay. 11:59. 8. I'll send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it. I'll send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it. Do you have a defibrillator? Yes, you have one. Are you talking to the officer? Yes. Okay. I'll send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it. Do you have a defibrillator?
Okay, I'm not trying to spark or stoke that flame, but I swear to God, I hear at the end house and tunnels. I hear the identity man thing, the house in the tunnels. I don't something the damn thing. Huh. Well, Hive, I hope you all enjoyed that stream. That was another good one of diving into stuff. And I go live every weeknight at 7 p.m. Central. As a reminder, this Saturday, I have George Webb coming in on this Saturday, August 16th at 10 a.m. And then do not forget Substack and Discord. And this case just continues to have a bunch of evidence point to at least more than one person. If you can't wrap your head around that Bryan didn't do it, maybe start with wrapping your head around that there's no way that somebody did it by themselves, along with all the other discrepancies. But that by itself, the timeline and the the suspect vehicle 1 not being Bryan Kohberger's car, and going back to this Hive Mind Find, I'm telling you, Grammar Angel, if you're out there, join the Hive, because this is an unbelievable comment. It's awesome. So with that being said, Hive, I hope everybody has a great night's sleep, crushes their day tomorrow, and I will be back on at 7 Central tomorrow evening. Cheers.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.